Is it inflation, or are you just hallucinating? Are you seeing the economic data in your daily life, and is it all rosy? I would guess a resounding no. If you think you may be falling behind in your financial goals, see the video description to access the free Inflation Retirement Calculator to make sure that you are on track. To discuss the present economic environment and how investments in scarce and time-tested assets like gold and silver can help you secure your financial future, we will hear from economist, White House advisor, and author Jim Rickards, economist and investor Keith Weiner.
And Secretary Connolly said, well, it's our dollar, but it's your problem. But as to least dirty shirt in the laundry, so yes, number one, I do think that as badly as the U.S. government has abused its credit, by and large, the other governments of the world, and certainly most notably China, has abused its credit even worse. But the other point that I think needs to be made more often is that all the other currencies of the world, maybe with the exception of, say, North Korea, like a couple of pariah countries, maybe Iran for that matter, but all the major currencies of the world are dollar derivatives. That is, the central banks hold dollars as their reserve asset, or they hold euros, which and the European Central Bank holds dollars anyway. So they're dollar derivatives. And so they couldn't possibly survive if the dollar were to collapse first. They couldn't survive the collapse of it because if you're derived from something and the thing from which you're derived is collapsing, you're going to go down too. It'd be like if you had call options on Google and then Google were to collapse. There's no way the call option would still have value after that.
One of the big props under the U.S. dollar has been what's called the petrodollar deal. This is something that came out in the mid-1970s, again, a time when the dollar was under attack. And the United States, through Henry Kissinger, said to the Saudi Arabians, look, we will guarantee your security, the continuation of the rule of the House of Saud and the national security of Saudi Arabia, because they were weak militarily and they had I like to say the Middle East is a bad neighborhood. They had a lot of enemies. In exchange, we want you to price oil in dollars. There's no reason why oil has to be priced in dollars. It could be priced in today, euros, back then, Deutschmarks, Swiss francs, Japanese yen, gold. You can price oil a lot of different ways. But they agreed to price it in dollars in exchange for our guarantee of their continued rule and their national security. That deal worked beautifully for 30 years, through the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. It really did put a floor under the dollar. But by the way, Saudi sells most of the oil these days to China, not the United States. So how long will it be before Saudi Arabia says, okay, China, we'll take your currency in exchange for oil, or maybe we'll take gold, or China buys gold and gives us gold and we'll send you the oil. But one way or another, the dollar is out of the picture. Again, that hasn't happened yet, but that process is already underway. So this is one of many threats to the reserve currency status of the dollar. And when that status goes away, as I described, you could be back to a world of, borderline hyperinflation in the U.S.
Just a quick interruption to say thank you for supporting our channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video content. It really does make a difference. Also, a quick mention and shout out to one of our sponsors, American Hartford Gold. American Hartford Gold is a leading gold investment company that helps individuals and families diversify and protect their wealth with precious metals. Whether you are starting a brand new gold IRA or rolling over an existing account, the company will make this process seamless and stress-free. With endorsements from respected and renowned voices across America, and one of the lowest investment minimums in the gold IRA industry, American Hartford Gold makes it easy to get started investing in precious metals. To find out more about American Hartford Gold and how this trusted gold investment company can help safeguard your coveted retirement savings, see the link in the video description to visit American Hartford Gold's official site to receive a free gold investing guide. Also, check out our video review of American Hartford Gold by clicking the link in the top right. Now, back to the episode.
I think in terms of the impact on the dollar, I warned the Pentagon about this and I warned the Treasury about this because I know how economic sanctions work. I've been very involved in that from the point of view of the intelligence community and also advising the government. But they can be powerful. But if you use them too much and too broadly, they actually lose all their impact because the people you're targeting say, well, okay, no mas, I'm out of the dollar system. You've done it one too many times. And this is an example of that. We've never frozen a central bank before. We have now. We've never kicked an entire country out of SWIFT with the exception of Iran, but that's a much more isolated case. We have now with Russia. And so instead of just sitting there saying, oh, gee, you got me, we can say, okay, let's go to a new payment system. Let's pick up a new currency. The Saudis are saying the same thing. And all of a sudden, if you're one of the top princes of Saudi Arabia, maybe Mohammed bin Salman or any of the top princes, you have a yacht in Monaco, you have a house in Aspen, you have who knows how many houses and palaces and yachts around the world, private jets, and they're like, hey, actually all that stuff could be seized.
because that's what we're doing to the Russian oligarchs. Now, you can say it's for good reason, and Putin should have invaded Ukraine. I get it, but if you're a Saudi prince, if you're certainly a Russian, if you're a Chinese oligarch, how comfortable are you with the dollar right now? I'm going to suggest the answer is not very. They didn't think this through. They don't understand these knock-on effects. They don't understand how the international monetary system actually works. They don't understand the blowback. You would need the gold to instill confidence. So Russia and China did exactly what we warned the Pentagon about in 2009, exactly, which is increase their gold reserves by a factor of 4 or more.
There's a certain irony to this exorbitant privilege. The architect of this insane system that began at Bretton Woods. So obviously, at the end of World War II, the United States was in a position to tell the rest of the world what they were going to like, and they were going to like it or else. They said to the rest of the world, this is what it's going to be. The architect of that was Harry Dexter White, and everybody assumes that this exorbitant privilege is good for America. So Harry Dexter White was later criminally convicted of being a tool for the Soviet Union, and his goal was actually the destruction of America. And so he designed this monetary system that appears to be to America's benefit, but is actually hollowing out America and destroying their capital. And so Harry Dexter White, I don't know how smart he was, and I don't know if this was accident or otherwise, but his interest was to destroy the United States and help the Soviet Union take over the world. And he gave us a system that contributed in no small part.
It's a little bit like fire insurance on your house. You don't want your house to burn down, but heaven forbid if it does, you're sure glad you had the insurance. And when you write that premium check to the insurance company every month, you don't think you're throwing your money away, you think you're doing a smart thing. So get some gold, it's volatile, don't get too upset with the day-to-day price action. But institutional allocations are about 1.5%. So I'm recommending 10, so there's a long way to go there. People need to get a lot more gold. It has gone up about 600% or more since 1998, but I would see it sort of chugging along with a lot of volatility, and then I think we're getting close to the stage where it's just going to gap up, meaning, one day it'll go up $100 an ounce and that'll make a lot of headlines, and the next day it'll go up another $100 an ounce and that'll make headlines, and all the talking heads on TV will go, oh, it's a bubble, don't be a fool, etc. But then, the next day, boom, it keeps going. Then what happens is then people wake up and say, oh, gee, I better get some gold.
With a 5,000-year record that has withstood every economic business cycle, stock market booms and busts, global conflicts, and outlasting every faith-based fiat currency, gold is no one's liability. It builds wealth while preserving it. Owning physical gold and precious metals requires responsible sourcing of grades, purity, condition, the best prices, transparency, and most of all, security and storage. Gold IRAs are a tax-deferred means of owning physical gold and ensuring all these investing principles are met. We have reviewed and vetted the best gold IRA companies that meet all these requirements. See the link in the video description to access the free gold investment guides. If you have $100K of retirement savings to protect and want to take advantage of the best gold prices, see the link in the video description to sign up for the free Gold and Silver Web Conference hosted by Augusta Precious Metals. Thank you for watching.